In a control system lab, the first experiment is of speed torque characteristics of two-phase AC servo motor. Okay, here the aim is going to be to study the speed characteristics of a two-phase AC servo motor. Then what are the main panel it is consisting of? The first one here is going to be mains of on and off switch with the built-in indicators. This is a whole kit what we are going to using to study the characteristics of speed torque characteristics of two-phase AC servo motor. Then a LCD display is there. This LCD display to display the speed of the RPM in terms of RPM only. Then ammeter is there. Ammeter to measure the DC motor current revolutions per minute RPM. Then about a servo motor on a small servo motor. That is here we are going to be taking of AC means AC supply we are going to give, that is AC supply on and off switch for the servo motor. Then load on off, for the load on off switch is there. Then R, a potentiometer to vary a load from 50 ohms to 25 watts. And VDC, the voltage what we are going to give is of 12 volts. Unregulated DC supply to the DC motor, and a motor in the figure. This PM DC, pulse modulated DC, that motor terminal to measure the back EMF. To measure the back EMF, we will be using of this motor. Then control winding terminal of AC servo motor is there. Reference winding, here it will be there. Then reference winding of AC servo motor. Then control voltage auto transformer to vary the AC supply to the control winding. This is the experimental setup as shown in the figure. What are all the things? The reference winding is there, control winding is there. What are the things it is? What are the main front panel is there? The same thing is designed here. Okay, what is the theory behind this? An AC servo motor is basically a two-phase induction motor, except for certain special design features. A two-phase induction motor consisting of two stators windings oriented with a 90-degree electrically apart in the space exerted by the AC voltages, which differ a time phase by 90 degrees. Then generally the voltages of equal magnitude and 90 degrees of phase difference is applied to the two stator phases, thus making their respective fields as 90 degrees only. Then apart from both, the space of the synchronous speed, as their field sweeps over the rotor, the voltages are going to be induced in it, producing a current in a short-circuited rotor. The rotating magnetic field interacts with these currents, producing a torque on the rotor in the direction of the field rotation. Means based on what the supply we are going to give, a magnetic field is going to be inducing, and here the two stators are oriented with two stator windings are with a angle of 90 degree. It is connected. Means due to the EMF what it is going to be induced in the motor, our based on the load what you are going to be connecting, our motor starts rotating based on the references. That's what here it is written. Then the shape of the characteristics depends on the ratio of the rotor reactance onto the rotor resistance. The shape of characteristics means which way the values you are going to be taking in terms of a load. Then in normal induction motors, our reactance to resistance ratio is generally kept high so that a maximum torque we can induced by using of this construction. That's what the main agenda here is going to be. Then to obtain a maximum torque close to the operating region, which is usually around a 5% slip, it will be going for. Then two-phase servo motor differ in two ways when compared to the normal induction motor. What are those two ways? The first one is of the rotor of the servo motor is built with a high resistance so that X by R ratio is small, very small, and the torque speed characteristic is shown in figure. This is the figure where it is going for the curve, torque speed characteristics. Then curve B is normally linear in a contrast to the non-linear characteristics with the large X by R ratio. It must be emphasized that if the conventional induction motor with a high X by R ratio is used for servo application, then because of the positive slope for the part of the characteristics, the system using of such motor becomes unstable. The motor construction is usually squirrel cage or a drag cup type. The diameter of the rotor is kept small in order to reduce the inertia and thus to obtain the good accelerating characteristics. Then drag cup construction is used for very low inertia operation. Then in servo motor, second one is in servo application, the voltages applied to the two stator windings are seldom balanced. Means what's the voltage we are going to apply? It will be in a balanced. One of the phase known as the reference phase and is excited by the constant voltage, and the other phase is excited by a constant voltage supplied to the reference windings, and it has a variable magnitude and polarity. Then the control winding voltage is supplied from a servo amplifier. For low power applications, AC servo motors are preferred because of they are light in weight and also rugged, and they are no brush contacts to maintain. Both the control and the reference windings are similar and we can interchange them. During forward direction, control winding is taken as a control winding and reference winding as a reference winding. During in a reverse direction, the controlling winding is taken as a reference and reference as a control winding. Then the current is measured by ammeter, which is connected in series with the power supply. In the figure it is shown where it is here it is connected. Then and the variable resistance, that is the load control. This method does not take into an account to the no load torque developed by AC servo motor. To measure the torque developed at a no load, that is about torque just required to rotate the rotor of AC, that is servo motor, rotor of DC motor. The AC servo motor is switched off initially. Then now the DC motor runs as the motor with the help of the DC supply. Then speed will be controlled by variable resistance. Again, we have to affect the measurement of current for a given speed from the product of EB, that is back EMF and armature current. We can find the mechanical power developed by the motor shaft as P is equals to pi N capital T divided by 60. Then torque equation is going to be P du into 1.019 into 10 raised to 4 into 60 divided by 2 pi N, where the value what's given is of the conversion factor from Newton meters to the gram centimeter. Then for various speeds, we can note down the no load torque required to be developed by the motor. This torque is negligible and may not be taken into account for the normal testings. So about the theory part, how it is going to be. In detail, you'll be learning in the theory class also. You'll be learning what you mean by servo motor, what do you mean by what are the construction and all. Okay. Then about what is the procedure when we are going to do the experiment in a lab. First, we have to check what all the given parameters are there for our panel. First, you have to study of those. Then initially keep load control switch at off position, indicated that the armature current of DC machine is not connected to the auxiliary DC supply, that is minus 12 DC volts. Then keep servo motor supply switch is on in the off position. Then Ensure the load potentiometer and control voltage auto transformer at the minimum position. Now you switch on the main supply to the unit and also AC servo motor supply switch. Where is the control voltage transformer? You can observe that the AC motor, servo motor will start rotating and the speed will be indicated by the tachometer in the front panel. Whatever it's there, our motor starts rotating. The display unit is there based on the RPM. The display unit will be there. They will be displaying the value, how much is going to be changing. Then with the load switch in off position, vary the speed of the AC servo motor by varying the control voltage and note down the back EMF. Here you have to note down the back EMF generated by the DC motor. Then enter the result in the table. Here you have to enter the result, speed in RPM and also about the back EMF. This will give the relationship between speed and back EMF. This first graph, if we whatever the values will be taken, it should satisfy these characteristics. That is about the speed and back EMF. Initially, it will be slowing. As speed increasing, our back EMF also is going on increasing. Then now the sixth one. Now with the load switch at off position, switch on the AC motor now and keep the speed in the minimum position. You can observe that AC servo motor starts moving with the speed being indicated by the tachometer. Now vary the control winding voltage by varying the auto transformer and set the speed of the maximum speed. Then now switch on the load switch. Now we have to switch on the load switch and start loading AC servo motor by varying the load potentiometer slowly. This knob you have to change slowly. Then is by varying the load potential slowly and adjust the load potentiometer in such a way that the previous value of the speed are obtained. Then note down the corresponding values of current, speed and enter the readings in the table. In this table you have to enter current, speed, back EMF and also the power and the torque. Then substitute the values of back EMF for the corresponding value in the speeds. Then after entering the details here, you will be getting after based on the respective values. If you draw the graph here, you will be getting a torque with respect to the speed. Like this curve, you will be getting off. This is about the AC servo motor.